Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. Open up your brown book, baby. Open up your brown book. Open up your brown book, baby. Look. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you. It's
I
for
love that
us.
song.
I
know,
no one
it's
can
so
judge
smooth.
us. No one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby.
I love it.
I absolutely love it too. Hey y'all, hey, what's up, what's up? This your girl Shay Baby, and welcome back to another episode here at the Brown Book Series. Y'all know what's up. It's Wednesday night. It's 7 o'clock. Your favorite show is on. That's right. We already know. It's your favorite show. And it's me, your favorite host. And tonight, I have one of my good friends on here, honey. She be writing everything. Contemporary, historical, BDSM, erotica, exotica, all kind of colors. Give it up, everyone, to USA Today's best-selling author, Miss Golden Angel.
Thank you.
How are you, darling?
I'm good. I'm good. Got my hair done today, so I'm feeling good.
Listen, your hair is so cute.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. We're gonna, you know what? Because I gotta make sure I can see your face. We're gonna remove some of the headline in there, so we know you best. We know your USA Today's best-selling author already. So we're right now. So. Oh my God, your hair looks so cute. It looks like pink a little bit though.
Oh, yeah.
I love
I've got my pink highlights in there. I had pink and blue hair for the past 2.5 years, but I don't know. I got kind of tired of not seeing my real hair. So we went back to brown today, but I kept some of the fun with pink highlights.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's go over to the chat and see who's checking in with us on tonight. Hi. Good evening, darling. Good evening. Hey, y'all. Hey. Oh, and she said, hey to y'all. I love it. Hey, Mama Tony, what's going on? JB, what it do? Hey, y'all. Hey, what's going on, sugars? Hi, Renee. What's up, Missy, BBS crew, that's right. You know what it do. Y'all already know what it do. We just quit taking your line, BBS. Y'all know what's up. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for checking in. You guys are all ways wonderful. You're amazing, and I just love you guys because you're just absolutely wonderful. And I love Golden for coming on here because we always love to be introduced to new authors. I already know y'all, but I have to let my BS crew know who you guys are. So, Golden,
yes,
tell us a little bit about yourself outside of the literary world. We're gonna get into all your books. There's like 300 of them. We'll get into all your books and all the good stuff. But what is it like in a day in the life of Golden Angel?
Well, at this point, a day in the life of me is still all about my books. I got to go full-time authoring in 2020, which is amazing. So I spend my days writing and I have my husband and my almost 5-year-old daughter. She turns 5 in just a few weeks, and I can't believe it. And so, I try to spend as much time with them as possible, and then also with my friends. And I do a lot of, in my free time, I like to sew and make some of my own costumes, and I do some cosplay, although I've kind of gotten out of the habit of it the past few years, but I'm trying to hopefully get back into it.
Oh, yeah.
So... But right now it's the fall, so most of my weekends are spent at the Maryland Renaissance Festival.
Listen, okay, so Missy said she got that golden glow. Yes, her hair is popping. Yes, it is. Girl, okay, so, my older brothers and family, whatever, they're from Maryland. And I only been there one time to the Maryland Renaissance Festival. One time. And they have like what is it? I'm in Massachusetts. They have the King Richard
King Henry. It's the same guy. It's been the same guy. I've been going like over a decade now.
Is he Henry here too in Massachusetts, or is it different people?
I'm not
like King Richard here.
It's probably still Henry, just because King Henry VIII kind of oversaw the Renaissance period ish. Like the Tudors brought in a lot of the arts and everything from Europe, and were very influential in kind of spreading the arts throughout England. The Renaissance kind of started in Italy and then made its way through Europe. I'm a history nerd, by the way.
Listen, I'm all into it. I'm like, okay, girl. I love it.
It's been a while since I've done my history studies, so if I do say something incorrect, I apologize. But my memory from college, which was way too long ago, says that the history, we started in Italy, and then by the time it got up, it's kind of started under Henry and then continued and really exploded under Elizabeth, if I'm remembering correctly. But the people kind of in charge of it put Henry in, and at mine, it's King Henry every year, but they go through each of his wives until they reach the last one, and then they start over.
Oh my God.
So you get like a whole play every year that they act out, and there's like a whole storyline that you can follow through if you want to. They've got actors, they've got the court. This year we have Jane Seymour running around, so it's going to be a sad year at the end.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But next year we'll have the Anne Boleyn's cousin, Catherine. It's not Parr. Catherine Parr is the last one. The youngest, unfortunately. She always kind of made me sad because she was so young and dumb and just trying to have a fun time as queen, and he was not the king to do that with. So
listen, you make me want to go and relive some history now. I'm like, I'm just gonna read this stuff. Looking for it. I love it.
I'm obsessed with Henry and his wives, and I have never written anything during that time period, but I want to one day, maybe, except for that the wives always just make me so sad.
Oh my God, and you absolutely should.
Yeah.
Colita Tate. I like names with the Colitas and Colatas and Colitas. Hey girl, hey, how y'all doing? Kim said, great, nothing wrong with being smart, honey. Embrace it. I love the musical 6 is awesome. What is the musical 6?
It's about Henry's 6 wives. Oh my God. It is. I've only seen clips on TikTok. It looks amazing. The voices, the songs, the lyrics, like it looks so freaking good. And the costumes. Oh my God. There was a cosplayer from 6. I think she was Catherine of Aragon at Awesome Con this year, and I like fell over running out of my booth to chase after her for a photo.
Wait, it's amazing. Called Awesome Con?
Awesome Con. So I go to a lot. I go to a lot of nerd conventions. I'm a very nerdy person.
I only go to with Comic Con, and then of course I go to Dragon Con because
Yes. So Awesome Con is the DC area's Dragon Con, except for it's much smaller.
Okay.
It's only in one convention center. Granted, that convention center is bigger than the hotels that make up Dragon Con, but the Dragon Con still, I mean, the reason they're spread out is because they need more space.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but Awesome Con has pretty much taken over the Washington Convention Center now. And I've been going every year, and last year I went for the first time as an author, and then so I went back again this year, and I just have a booth and whatnot, but it's a lot of fun. One day, Dragon Con as an author, that's like on my author bucket list.
I'm sorry, and then listen, I'm gonna have to go with you on that one.
Do it.
I'm gonna have to be like, listen, I'm like her third or fourth assistant. I'm just here. I just want to hold her outfit. I'm telling you.
No. Oh my God. Well, the fun thing about Dragon Con is that they have the late night track, so you can actually have the 18 plus panels and conversations and stuff there.
I know. I hosted one a couple years ago. I'd be full of crap. I hosted a couple of them a couple years ago, but I'm telling you, it's nice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Absolutely nice. I absolutely love it. Love it. So your life is all interesting up there in Maryland.
I do a lot of stuff outside of the author world and the authoring. I'm very lucky. I've got a great group of friends, some of them that I've been friends with since high school, and we are all just big nerds, and we just nerd out together.
I absolutely love it. I'm telling you, I love it. All right. Well, now that we know that Golden Angel is a nerd, You're a cute nerd too. So that's how we are here at the Brown Book Series, honey. You know, we some everything. We nerds, we hookers, we all that. You know what I mean?
That's the best mix.
That's the best. I'm telling you. People be like, Shay, what's like the 4 things in life that you love? I was like, God, love, sex, and drugs. I'm just saying.
There you go.
I mean, illegal stuff. I mean, legal stuff. Sorry, anyway, so
don't judge.
It brings us to the first segment here, the Brown Book Series, called Name That Book.
Oh.
Where, yes, girl, we take okay, here we go now. We take a segment, a passage, a character, or a synopsis, or something related to one of your books, and you have to name that book.
Oh, geez. You guys are mean.
That's one what they say to us. And then when people be like, Shay, they're not going to come back and talk to us. I'm like, they're not coming back. See, this is your first time here with us. We're going to take it real easy.
Okay.
This time. We'll take it real easy.
I cannot tell you how many times readers have said something to me about a book, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Listen, Golden, get it together. But we got faith in you. They're going to help you out in the chat.
I'll do my best.
It's going to be wonderful.
I promise I wrote all the books. There's just been a lot of them, and I forget stuff.
Listen, and we're going to talk about that, too, because, baby, you be cranking these books out. I'm trying to figure out what is really going on. All right. You ready?
Yes. Okay, let's do this.
Go. Name that book. Listen really carefully. All right. She was unaccompanied except for her maid, but she did not have a single book in hand. So what had she been doing for so long in there?
Okay. Okay. This has to be a season for smugglers.
Okay.
That is the only character. This is because it has to be historical because it's made. And it has the only time I've sent any of my historical characters to a bookstore, to somewhere that she would be getting a book, which would be a bookstore, would be a season for smugglers. So that's the only one I can think of anyway. Scandal. Oh, so close.
So close. I was like, I will give it to her because she was so close.
It was the second book. What did I send Josie to a bookstore for? She's not my blue stocking.
Girl, she didn't come out with nothing. What she was doing in there? That's
a good point. What was she? God, what did I have her doing? And something sneaky. She was doing something
very sneaky. Because
Josie is my troublemaker, so that
she was, and that's why I picked. They was like, "Why you pick this one?" Because Josie, honey,
oh man, I loved her. I loved her.
Tell us a little bit about the series, Deception and Discipline.
So I wrote this series. I love writing historical romance. But for me, the reason I got into writing historical romance at all was because I think historical romances need more spankings. Basically, like I read a lot of more spankings. Because I got a little tired of reading historical romance. I read a lot of like historical romances that are sexy, that have alpha males, like Stephanie Lawrence, Lisa Kleypas, Julia Quinn. Like I read almost everything those 3 authors have written. But sometimes when their heroes get I'm like, this would be a great opportunity for a spanking. And sometimes the heroes will even threaten to give them a spanking and then not follow through. And I was like, I need some follow through. So I started writing my own. And the first couple series are very, very bodice ripper, a little bit dubcon. A lot of bit dubcon in the first series. And then by the time I started writing Deception and Discipline, what I really wanted, I wanted a girl gang of spies. And so I had this idea for a lady spy, and I went, okay, I've got this one character. And then I had another character in the previous series to this one, which was the Bridal Discipline series, that was kind of always hanging out in the background. Yeah. And as the series progressed, I kind of realized, I was like, there's something going on with this character. Like she's always hanging out in the background. She's always observing everyone. She's always watching everybody. And I had this idea. I was like, what if she was friends with the lady spy? What if she was spying on all these like influential, like the people of the ton, for the lady spy? So then I decided that there was going to be a traitor and they were going to go on a hunt, and it was going to be the lady spy. I decided was the niece of the spy master to the crown, and she wants in on the family business. And her uncle and her cousins who raised her, her passed when she was very young. Her uncle and cousins are like, no, like, no. And she's like, no, you're letting me in. And so she will constantly just like go off and do her thing. But at this point, they're hunting a traitor, and she's like, all right, you won't include me. So she gathers her 3 best friends and uses them to hunt down the traitor for the crown. And along the way, they keep accidentally falling into scandals that require them to get men who like to spank them, who are also happen to be spies and are hunting the same traitor.
Oh my God. How long did it take you to, okay, from the time you came up with the whole synopsis of the whole series, how long did it take for each book in this series?
So it takes me about 2.5 to 3 months to write kind of what I call my main series books, which these are. And I have to alternate them. Like, I can't write in the same world one book after another. My brain just doesn't work that way. It needs like time, partly because like I'm a little bit of a pantser. Like, I start with an outline, but my characters don't usually follow it. And by the time I get to the end of the book, what is written is very different from what the original outline was. And so it's like my brain almost needs time to like let that percolate before I start writing the next book, like all the changes that happened and everything. So I alternate between my series writing contemporary and then a historical and then a contemporary and then a historical. So all in all, it took 2 years for these books to come out, but they take about 2.5 to 3 months for me to write them. One. But then they have, then there's also editing, and all that. So plus writing another book. Oh yeah, Julie Garwood.
Yeah, so you got that. You did great. Okay, next up, name that book. Now, this is the name of a character. We mean, so you have a lot. You got a lot of series. So we want the character. Character that this person is the main star of the book that she's the main star of. Okay, easy breezy. Character, Leah Douglas.
That is Breaking the Chain.
Look at you, honey. Yes, that's your stronghold, domination.
So that one, I'll tell you a secret. That one's easy for me because I gave her first name is my real middle name.
Oh, cool.
And I gave her, her and her guy, I gave them mine and my husband's love story. So I actually, yes.
Okay, so, now we really are intrigued. Tell us a little about Breaking the Chain, honey.
So that the characters don't really look or act anything like us. I actually gave our looks and our personalities to different characters, but I decided I wanted to tell like my love story because I don't know, like, especially when she was first introduced in book 1. She's the best friend of the heroine in book 1 who looks like me and has my personality. I'm very creative, guys. But by the time I got to her book, there were a lot of people, like, she had this terrible boyfriend that she was with, and there were so many people who were like, she's so unrealistic, no one would put up with being treated like this. And I was like, I did for a really long time. And I was like, I really need to, and I kind of had the idea in my head that I would give her kind of my story anyway. And I was like, you know what, I'm not just going to give her like a happily ever after. I gave her a guy who had a hero who had my husband's backstory, and kind of the way that they get together follows. It doesn't completely follow, but it's based on how we got together, because we both came from very long, very toxic relationships that started in high school and then like rebounded with each other, but then also ended up together.
That is cute.
Yeah.
So she's like, I know this book, honey. I know this book.
So that one was easy. I'm like, oh, I know that character. That one's easy.
Okay, well, since we on the road, here we go. Name that book. Godmother. She was going to be a godmother.
That one, okay. Hopefully I'm not getting the like next book in the series, but I know that Arabella said that. So I'm guessing Arabella's Taming. I was like, it's either Arabella's Taming or it's the epilogue of Benedict's Command.
Yes, Miss Arabella. Tell us about Arabella's. Well, actually, the Bridal Discipline, the series. Tell us about Arabella's Taming, and then tell us about the series itself.
So she's the last book in the series, and she was like the most anticipated. Like, I can't even tell you, I've noticed, like, I can see it in my sales when it happens. Like, when people read through this series, they skip book 4 read hers, and then come back and purchase book 4 after reading hers because people wanted to know so badly what was going to happen with her. She is, you know how you always have that character in historical romance novels who doesn't want anything to do with the social conventions?
Right.
That's Arabella. Arabella does not want anything to do with being a proper lady. I mean, she likes the privileges it comes with, but she's not into being polite to people that she's not interested in. She doesn't really care, you know, and she doesn't really care about social conventions. She's perfectly willing to just be like, F you, and go off and do her own thing. But of course, the man that she's been in love with all the way up through her book, and we get to see that through the other books because she makes friends with previous characters. The man that she's been in love with is super, super like stick up his butt, follows all the social conventions, and like he drives her nuts. They drive each other nuts, but at the same time, like that's who she's in love with. But then she overhears him talking about her specifically and why she does not meet his standards, his like list of what he wants from a wife, and like basically just like ripping her to pieces. And she's like, all right, done with that, and goes off. And so the next time it's, you know, she's like, all right, fine, I'm gonna go find someone else. And then she's being courted by another character who I did not see coming. Like her book, like when I say I have an outline and my characters like go off of it, by the time I finished her book, I shared the original outline with my readers before the book even released.
Wow.
Because it was so different that I was like, this is a completely other book. Like she did not follow any of that. Like she rebelled against everything, including all my notes and thoughts on what she was supposed to do.
She turned on you, girl. That's what she do now.
Yeah. So she went off and she found this guy, and then there was this love triangle, which I normally don't do, but then I ended up falling for the guy. And so he's the first book in the next series. He's a season for treason because I just fell in love with him so much. He was amazing. But then of course she kicks off a scandal and has to marry the man that she was in love with that like talked bad about her. And so it's her taming, but it's also kind of her taming him,
right,
to being more of the man that she needs, and you know, also him taming her, because in the historical romances, especially when you're of a certain social set, you do have to kowtow a little bit to society's expectations. Yeah, you know, how you act affects the people around you and stuff like that. So
I just did this to somebody about 5 minutes ago. No, not 5. Let me see. About 5 minutes before me and you got on.
Oh my goodness.
Like, you know, your behavior, it affects all of us.
Yeah.
You know, like, get your shit together, man.
Yeah, and like I get it, rebel, but also like some of the things you do does affect people that you care about, and sometimes they care about the way that they're seen, and you got to consider that. And
you got to consider that, honey. These people out here, they just damn ingrates. That's what. All right, cool. So that's the Bridal Discipline book 5. Let's see here. This okay. This is one of my favorite books of yours. And everybody in the Brown Book series is gonna know why. Name that book. Spontaneous, passionate.
I feel like that could describe so many of my characters. Is that from the if it's from a blurb, is this Leo from the Masters of the Zodiac? I know that that's how we did the blurbs for that, is with the 3 words, and that does sound like I'm gonna guess Leo.
No, it's the best zodiac sign.
Oh my God, Sagittarius was so. I didn't write that one though.
Wait a minute, hold on. Why you didn't write Sagittarius? And they told me that too, and I was like, why she didn't write Sagittarius?
I wrote Leo because I'm a Leo, but yeah, oh my God, the Sagittarius was.
Who wrote the Sagittarius one?
Who did write it?
Because all you guys was in this whole series together.
Yeah. I helped organize it too.
No, it's okay. Listen, my producer's over here in the corner talking about why you want to ask her that. Because I wanted to know, why didn't you write the Sagittarius one?
So I didn't. I wrote the Leo book because I'm a Leo. Who wrote that? I'm looking up who wrote Sagittarius. Oh, it was Honey. Oh, she did. I loved this one. She did such a good job with that one. That was where he like shifts into a centaur. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It was so good.
I'm telling you, they was like, Shay, this part of the series that she just ends. She didn't write Sagittarius. I don't know. I'm gonna ask her why didn't she write Sagittarius? That is like the best zodiac sign ever.
Yeah. No, I wrote it because I'm a Leo, and I was like, I need to write the Leo because I am a Leo and I know what that's like. And I had the best idea for the cheesiest, smarmiest hero and the bodyguard who hates him.
I think you need, even though the young lady who wrote it did a great job, because I did Leo, but I was just like, I'm gonna say something to her about that. I read Leo and it was cute, it was cool, whatever. I was just like, why didn't she write Sagittarius? She knows I'm a Sagittarius. Why didn't she write on Sagittarius? So are you gonna go back and redo it?
Yeah, Breaking the Chain was kind of a fictional bio in a sense, from just a little screenshot of our lives a bit. I put a lot of myself into the Stronghold series in general, into a lot of my books, but specifically into the Stronghold series. Like, a lot of the characters in that are based on me and my friends. I have used actual quotes for that, like, my friends and I keep a quote log of the stupid shit we say, and I've used those.
Golden. Are you gonna rewrite the Sagittarius book for me?
I can't rewrite it. I could write. I will. I can't rewrite it. I can't
rewrite it. But you could be like Sagittarius.
At some point, I would love to do a full zodiac. Honestly, at some point,
you should. Because I mean, y'all like the whole thing. I was like, dang, why she didn't write this whole series? But I was like, this is free. This
time.
Is cool.
I don't have time.
I figured that, but I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have to ask that. They was like, this not even her. Like, I don't care about it. She was in the series. She knows about it. Okay. Now back to you.
Okay.
Name that book. I had a petty moment just there. I was like, why didn't she do that? Okay.
I'm impressed. I knew it was the Zodiac. I'm impressed with myself, so I'm still happy.
You did great. And I was looking at all of it. I'm like, she didn't do that one. I'm asking about it one. She was in the damn thing. You know who did it.
I've said next time I'll do that. Next time I'm invited to a Zodiac, I'll insist on Sagittarius just for you.
Thank you. Just for me.
Just for you.
Okay, cool. All right. Name that book. Here we go. Their desire is real, but it is going on trial.
That's got to be Legally Bound.
That's the latest novel, right?
Yeah.
Legally Bound. That's the Masters of the Marquee. That's book 5 of Masters of the Marquee. Please tell us a little bit about this book, ma'am. Okay. About this book.
So, Legally Bound, I have had this fan favorite character since the Stronghold Dom series. His name is Freddie. He is a male submissive, and he's flamboyant, and he is bi, but he leans towards women, liking women. Like, he scenes with men, but most of the time his romantic interests end up with women. And I've had readers literally for years, like since the Stronghold Dom series came out, asking me for a book about Freddie. And for a really long time, I said, I don't think I can write a submissive man book. I don't think I can write a submissive man book. And then I ended up writing one for the dominatrix character in the Stronghold Dom series. She was another fan favorite. And I gave her a very specific type of male submissive, and he was new to the scene, and I got to kind of like work with that. And I was still intimidated about doing like an experienced male submissive. So like I kept putting it off. And then finally for this series, my new series, I said, all right, Freddie is going to get his book. He is going to get his dominatrix. I introduced her in the book right before it. So she was a new addition to the series. I had her in my head. I had picked out, and she's beautiful. I got so mad because when I was originally looking for covers for this series, I ended up going with all men because I couldn't find what I wanted for her. And then when I started looking for promo pictures, I found her, and I was like, hi Rhonda, why weren't you there when I was looking for covers for this series? Because I bought all the covers way in advance. I wanted to plan it out and everything like that. So I bought all the covers like 3 years before this book even released.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I like to plan things out, and this is a 9-book series, so like it's taking me about 5 years to write. And so the last book, when it comes out, I'll have had the cover for 5 years.
Oh my God.
But yeah, but I got to put her on all the promo things. Like I had this picture of her in my head, and I finally found her in stock images, but it was too late to put her on the cover, but she's in all my promo stuff for it, because she's
That's
she was
that lady with the braids, right?
Huh?
Don't she have braids?
She does, yeah.
With the blonde braids.
Mm-hmm.
What about, I saw that, I'm like, what about that? When I saw that, she's a young lady with the blonde braids. Yes. What about that picture that made you want to make her on all your promo stuff?
Because she looked exactly like how I was picturing Mistress Camille in my head, like curvy, the braids. The hair was always, could go either way for me, whether she was going to have like natural or braids, but like she just looked, and the look that she's giving the camera, I was just like, I found her. I was like, oh my God, it's her. I said it to all my friends. I'm like, I found her, and the cover's done, and it's too late, and I'm mad. But yeah, I got to eventually one day. I would love to put her on the cover. Maybe when this series is over and I like redo all the covers. But yeah, that was how I pictured his mistress was. And I wanted 2 lawyers. Because what I really wanted to have them have was I wanted them to have a one-night stand, and then like the next day they're up and they're on opposite sides of the negotiating table of a very contentious divorce. And so I wanted a little bit of that angst and a little bit of the drama, and so she had to be a new character so that he didn't know who she was, and so that they'd never met before. And then the thing that I liked most about this book was I had her as being out of the scene for a really long time. And so she's finding, he's experienced, he's been in it for a while. And he is a completely different person as a lawyer than he is in the club as a submissive. And I really wanted to explore how he could how he could be this kind of shark in as a lawyer and then be submissive, and how that doesn't take away from his masculinity. And also for her, really explore how the things in, as women in our day-to-day lives, and she is Black. And so like, especially as a Black woman in our day-to-day lives, how we can sometimes feel beaten down, and being able to get back into the things that she loves to do, and how that, changes how she feels about herself, the kind of energy she has, and really eventually allows her to kind of take the reins of her own destiny and move beyond the really shitty job that I gave her, and into a better and brighter future with both her love life and her workplace life. And for me, I am half Korean, half white, and one of the biggest things, speaking of nerd, that's my ringtone.
I love it.
Star Wars. For me growing up, there wasn't a ton of representation. There still isn't for someone who's mixed. There's just not. Mm-hmm. And so I live in one of the most diverse areas in the entire country. Yeah. I found out, like, literally. They did a study. I live in like one of the most diverse areas. And so for me, I wanted that reflected in my books. I wanted to see, that's how the people I see in real life are. That's how I wanted my books to be. And I especially, as I read, I notice who's not present. And so I want to, that's always been one of my things, is putting people in that I don't see present everywhere. And that's not to say, like, I have plenty of white characters, but I also, you're well,
it is not like, okay, 5 over here, you're well diversely mixed up.
And I like to write interracial romance, like that's what I
Right. Do you get Black about that though? Because some people, I don't know, some people feel like, okay, she's not a Black author, so how can she write about Black romance? Like, do you ever feel like, or either get any flack about that, or?
I haven't so far. I'm always looking for it, because I do want to make sure I take it as, so far I've done a good job. that I'm not getting flack about it, that
Right.
it must mean I'm doing a good job. But I'm, you know, I am always looking for it, because I do, if someone, you know, I'm always learning. I consider myself a work in progress, and I am sure that at some point I will get something wrong, and I want to be able to fix it when I do.
Right.
But, you know, I try to do my due diligence. I ask my friends, I talk to people, I have my ARC readers. I have Renita, oh, I'm blanking on her last name, but she does a page a day, and she does diversity editing.
Okay.
Sensitivity reader, that's what it is, sensitivity reader. And so she's done a few of them for me. Legally Bound, I was in a bit of a rush to write, and I did not get to hire her for it. And I was on pins and needles. You know, I feel like I've learned a lot, but at the same time, I was like on pins and needles waiting for the reviews on this one. Just like, please tell me I did okay.
You did okay. Let me I'll be honest with you, right? Because, okay, so I'm going through, you know, they sending me everything, sending me packages, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And so I read like a book of yours from like early on. I'm like, okay, cool, good, let's go. And so this might be like a couple years ago. And so when they sent over this package, it was the girl with the long, with the braids, whatever. I'm like, cool. So I read the book, and I'm like, oh, this is neat. But then I think someone sent me over a promo picture. I'm like, hold on, this ain't the same person I just read. This they was like, yeah, Shay, that's Golden Age. I'm like, it's not. So now I go back. I kept one of them older books of yours. Oh my God, it was a trio. It was the girl was getting married to two men.
Oh yeah. Jessica, the Venus books.
Yes. We gotta talk about that too. That was crazy. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I read that, but I don't know. I just read it. So I'm like, okay, cool. But then I was like, wait a minute, this is not her. But so that being said, it didn't read like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is read, you know what I'm saying? It read like it was supposed to read. It wasn't like, oh, she's trying to do this, or it was, you did a great job. Feel me out. I was like, damn.
Thank you. I mean, the Venus books were, I think they were the second set of books that I put out. Like the first, the first aren't even up for sale under Golden Angel anymore. They're up under my erotica pen name that I don't care about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it was crazy. But yeah, like I said, with the Legally Bound, I'm like, okay, you did a great job with that. I often think about that when, you know, when different ethnicities write different ethnicities, you're like, how did that come off? I mean,
I think for me, a big part of it was that growing up, my elementary school, and middle and high school, actually, like my entire schooling experience was majority Black and Latino schoolmates.
You and Maryland,
yeah. We shipped in the white kids from 20 minutes away in a completely
okay. Y'all come over here with us.
Yeah, they were on the bus for like 20 to 30 minutes to get to school with us.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, you know, it was that I grew up with very diverse people all around me. And that's, you know, my neighborhood continues. That's my husband and I specifically wanted that, and took my daughter to a school where we're like, all right, she's in preschool right now, and we're looking around and we're like, yep, super diverse classes, super diverse teachers. Cool, let's go. Like that's where we want to be. So
I always thought that though. I never understood why some people. I understand why some people, because some people just do it for it's a trend or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could tell yours is not like that. And it was another author we was, you know, going back and forth with, and they was upset with her because of, you know, she write multicultural as well. And I'm like, love is love. Do the white girls got something I don't have? I'm just saying, like, it's the same positions. Yeah, it's the same everything. I'm like, so I would just always, you know, like I said, some people write it for the trend, and you can tell they're not around, you know, people of color or people whatever. And when they write it, it's like, girl, that's
yeah. I mean, I will say I was terrified to write a Black heroine, and I did not in the beginning. And the reason why, and you will notice this when you read my Stronghold Doms, that even though I have several Black heroes, they are all bald. I didn't know how to deal with the hair.
Oh,
And I didn't want to get it wrong.
Close crop every time. Next time.
And all my friends were like, and all my friends did different things with their hair, and I'm like, I don't know how to write this. So it took me a while. I was asking people, I was watching YouTube videos, and eventually the first one that I wrote was actually for my Shifter series, and she went over really well. And so I've gotten more comfortable with like the different terminology around the hair. And I think that's one big fear, is getting something important wrong. And for me, I just got stuck on the idea of like,
because you're looking at your friends, and you're looking at your friends, and we don't know who your friends are, but girl,
right.
You did good. Like I said, I thought you were the black girl with blonde braids.
Thank you.
And I was enjoying the book.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it really
I loved her. Like, that Mistress Camille was just like, she was so hot. And like, I'm really excited. She's going to come up again in a couple books. I'm having an Asian dominatrix in a couple books that I'm really excited about. And it's like this little trio of besties among them.
Oh, that will be good. Why do you get the dominatrix and stuff? I think going over there just freaky. I like it.
I didn't think I would enjoy writing the like female dominance, but I had such a good time with the first one. I was like, no, I can do this, and I've been doing it more.
I had a good time with the first one too.
Yeah.
I had a good time. And speaking of good times,
sorry.
brings us to the next segment here, the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather? Where we take your heroes, we pit them against each other, and you let us know who you want to have a one-night stand with.
Oh, no. My husband's going to be real mad if his character doesn't win.
I know, right? We might didn't choose his character. We're going to see. Hold on. We did it by series, okay? So I'm reading the series and ask who'd you rather. Now, one night stand, Golden. We ain't talking about getting married. We ain't talking about none of that. Okay. One night. Hit it, quit it, loving it. Let's go. Okay. Might call you in a couple of months. It was real good.
I can do that.
All right, here we go. So let's go to your Masters of your Marquis series, okay? Who'd you rather?
My favorite one hasn't come out yet. Oh, definitely Lawrence, Master Law. Mostly because Quentin, I loved writing a switch, but I am not switchy. And also Master Law likes to play with electricity, and that's a lot of fun. So
okay. You ain't switchy, girl. I thought you was over there switching out, baby.
I'm so subby.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to the Stronghold Dom series. You already know which one it is. Who'd you rather? Master Adam or Rick Winter?
It's funny, they're both based on my husband.
So fire line.
We'll say Master Adam because that's the one that's closest to who my husband is now. But yeah, when I first wrote the Venus books, I had just started dating my husband. And so I threw in Rick because I started dating my husband. I was like, ooh, I need a blonde with like icy eyes, but he's not going to end up with the heroine because she's not me. And then like his character eventually very diverged from who my husband is. But Master Adam, he looks like my husband and he has my husband's personality.
Okay, then. Love it.
So if you like a grumpy, sarcastic man,
that you put it down.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. That's like my husband.
I live that grumpy sunshine life.
All right. Let's play with the chase and tell.
This one should be interesting.
Yeah, who'd you rather? Bryce or Steele?
Steele. Steele was my favorite from the beginning.
Was he?
Yeah, he just you know why? I think it's that grumpy sunshine thing. Like Bethany just loves to poke at him and he just puts up with it so well. Bryce was fun too. Bryce was a lot of fun, but Steele, he's just like the alphaist of the alpha males in that series, and therefore he is the most fun to annoy.
The most fun to annoy.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, the Venus Rising Quartet. Girl, tell us about this series and why the hell? Who thought of this?
So
you wrote a whole four books about it.
The way this happened. So the original story, the Venus School.
We want to know how this happened for real.
The original story, the Venus School, was written for an erotica website called Literotica.
Okay.
And the reason I wrote it was because I read a story by, it was either Jinx Malone or Minx Malone. I can't remember. It's not available anymore. It was called Madam X School of Sex. It's gone. I've looked for it multiple times over the years. It was such a hot book. And it was all about this heroine who goes to this school for sex, and her employer, who's totally into her, like follows her there because he used to be an instructor there, and he follows her there, and like she gets like one sensual massage class, which of course he's the instructor for, and then he claims her. And it was so hot. But I was also so annoyed because I wanted to know more about the school. Like there was almost nothing. There was like called the School of Sex, and there was almost nothing of the school. And I was like, wait, I wanted to know about the curriculum. I wanted to know about the classes. I wanted to see what she was going to be learning there. And so after rereading it like 10 times and getting more and more frustrated because it was so hot, but also like I just kept thinking about this school. I was like, you know what? I'm writing for this erotica website. I'm going to create my own school, and I am going to give her 2 love interests, because that way she'll be torn between them the whole time and they can't shut down her curriculum early. Like that was my way of making sure that my characters didn't fall in love too soon and stop the classes. So I wrote it for the website, and this is actually how I became an author, because I've been writing for the website for years. And then a few of the readers who got really into the story messaged me and said, hey, can you put this up as a book? Because I really love it, and I'm afraid that like if something happens to the website or whatever, like I want to be able to own it. And I was like, well, okay, yeah, let me see how difficult this would be. You know, like how hard is it to self-publish? And it turned out that putting up the book was really easy. So this was way back in 2012. Indie publishing was pretty new, but it was really easy, and there were like how-to things that you could do. Oh my God. It was so spicy. Sorry, looking at the comments. It was so spicy. It was written for an erotica website. There was sex in every single chapter.
So what is this a website still? Website.
Oh yeah, erotica is still up there. I still have
still write for them now?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't get paid, and eventually I wrote for them. There is some overlap in my like writing for the free website / becoming an author, but at some point, especially when I've started becoming more serious about it and being like, okay, I need to, you know, like I'm the sole income earner for my family. So like I have to make money, which means I have to get paid for my writing.
Yes, girl, listen, honey, this free time is over. You want her to be still Winters and Adams.
My stories are still on there. I still have quite a few on there. I will say that is the only place I ever got flack for writing interracial romance.
Really? Listen, they talking about what's the address for this school. Listen, y'all get it together.
I know, right? Well, people always ask me, is this school real? I'm like, I wish, man.
Man, me too. Midnight Book Bar. What's up, baby? LaShira Lee. Hi, how y'all doing? We are in conversations with a novel experience with honey, Miss Venus Rising Quartet herself, Miss Golden Angel, honey. She's over here writing these old freaky nasty books, and we love them.
Yeah. So yeah, she goes through the whole curriculum. She takes BDSM class, she takes self-pleasure, menage, just regular old sex. Yeah. So
how did you research this, ma'am?
I am tangentially involved with the kink scene, or at least I was for a little bit way back in my college years.
What tangentially? What?
I never had like a membership to the club. I went to the local club with some friends. I have friends who are active in the scene and live the lifestyle. I do not.
Okay,
but I wanted, when I first started, I didn't even know what BDSM was or what kink was until I got to college and found Literotica and started reading the stories. And that's when I realized, oh, I'm kinky. There's a word for these things that I'm interested in. Like there's a whole community, and I never got super involved, but I have friends who are, and that was when I started writing. I mean, my characters do a lot of things that I am not personally into, or that I do not personally find pleasurable, but I have fun experimenting and knowing what certain things feel like. But yeah, I don't actually live the lifestyle. My husband, I tell people, I would call my husband and I more like bedroom players. Like we play around in the bedroom a little.
Gotcha.
But For a period there, it was looking like I might get further into it and exploring. And then I met my husband, and then it's like, you can't bring up with someone that you just started dating, like,
Oh yeah,
hey,
no.
so
Yeah.
yeah. Eventually we got more into it, but things happen, and then we had a kid, and it's like, okay, well, maybe one day we've had invitations to the local club. I could have gone this month if I wanted. I have a friend who's involved there, but yeah, there was just a million things going on. There's a million things going on, and it's hard to get a late night babysitter.
Oh my God. I love it, girl. Listen, we might have to come to Maryland and get the address to these places. I'm trying to say. They in the chat trying to find the address to the school. They tripping.
Closest thing you could get to the school is probably, so if you go on FetLife and you find out about your local munches, there are places that do educational stuff. I know around me, it's the Crucible. They do have classes there that you can go to. It's not the same as the school, and you will not be, there's laws against actually having sex in public places, but that's the closest you can get for educational purposes.
I love it. Y'all let me know y'all want to meet me down in Maryland. Golden Angel, author's moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year, both in the literary world and in your personal life?
Getting out of burnout.
Oh yeah, you gotta burn out.
Yeah, we were chatting a little bit before going on, but yeah, I realized last month I had 2 major life events happen very quickly around each other, and I was already very low on energy reserves due to overscheduling myself, overcommitting myself, and not taking enough breaks, and also just other stuff, like kind of not realizing in home life like how much I was overdoing it, rather than telling my husband, hey, I need help. I need, and we since realizing this last month, I have made it a priority to, well, I had to, if I'm going to keep writing at all,
and take care of yourself.
Yeah, take care of myself. So trying to do things that I get a lot of joy in and that help feed me energy instead of drain me or take me, putting up more boundaries where they've needed to be put up, both with myself in like being like, okay, no, it doesn't matter that there's 100 messages in your Facebook inbox.
Right.
You need to stop and step away. And
half of them don't mean nothing anyway. You pick out the money ones. Okay, which one? This is a money opportunity right here. Pick out there. The rest of them like, hey girl, hey, I got it with y'all in a little bit. So yeah, you gotta take care of yourself, honey.
It's hard.
As RuPaul say, honey, can't take care of yourself. How the hell you gonna take care of somebody else?
Exactly.
You gotta take care of yourself. All right, cool. Author's moments. In being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
Believe in yourself. That was, and I think that's something a lot of us struggle with. You'll hear talk about imposter syndrome. I, for the longest time, did not consider myself a real author because I was writing for a free website, and then I was an indie author, and I'm putting out books, but they're not like, especially at the beginning, I was making my own covers. They didn't look like, the traditionally published books. And back in 2012, there's still a little bit, but back in 2012, there was a huge stigma against indie author books, and they must be terrible and all this stuff. And so, and I kept telling myself, when I'm a real author, I'll do this. When I'm a real author, I'll do that. When I'm a real author, I'll try to get this. I'll try to get that. And it took me longer than I wish it had to even get on Facebook. I did it again. One of the readers that convinced me to publish at all kept being like, you need to be on Facebook. She ran the first 5 years of my career, because I certainly wasn't, because I didn't believe that I could. It was for me. I actually wrote a letter to myself right before, like the year before I started publishing. I wrote a letter to myself to be like, it was like a part of some challenge I was doing. To be opened in 10 years. And I opened it in 2021, and I read it and I was like, oh my God. Like, I wrote about like, I'm writing for the website, and wouldn't it be cool if one day I published a book? That'd be that'd be like amazing, like a book, like that'd be amazing, da 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 da. And I'm sitting here in 2021, like crying reading this, because at this point, by that point, I had published over 50 books. I had hit the USA Today bestsellers list. I was a full-time author, and I was like, back then I could not have even fathomed the idea that any of that was possible.
Nice.
And if I had believed in myself a little bit earlier, I probably would have gotten on Facebook earlier. I would have engaged with other authors earlier. And when I got on, I was like, no, who's going to want to talk to me? I just
But it's in good timing, though. Everything works when it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Everything comes together. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Back then, you could have got on Facebook, could have got up with these authors, could have found out these authors wasn't nothing but a nagging bitches. And it could have, made you better towards your craft. So it's all in good timing.
Yeah.
You got it when you're supposed to get it. That's it.
It did, yeah. I mean, but I wish I had, I think I could have saved myself some angst. And I think if I had believed in myself, I would have treated what I was doing a little bit more seriously.
Right.
Like for a long time, I would like kind of brush it off of like, oh no, I shouldn't even try for that because I'm not a real author. Like I shouldn't even try to hit the USA Today bestsellers list. I shouldn't talk to other authors about, can you put me in your newsletter, because they're going to say no because I'm not a real author. I shouldn't send in a submission to these small press publishers because I'm not good enough yet. I'm not a real, and it was a constant refrain in my head for years. And after it got out of my head, not even out, but after I started doing things despite that voice and started being like, well, I'm going to try it anyway. That's when I really started finding more success and more self-confidence and believing, just so much more belief. And it's still, the imposter syndrome still hits me. It absolutely still hits me. I don't think it ever goes away. And I'm okay with that because I do like that it keeps me humble and it keeps me striving.
Right.
Because I do always want to be better. But at the same time, I'm not as afraid anymore. Like I will reach out to somebody and say, hey, do you want to newsletter swap? Or every once in a while, I'll get real brave and like be like, hey, Lexi Blake, do you want to read one of my books? And she couldn't, but she was so nice about it. Like,
too.
Right.
Yeah, she's good.
Like do the thing and be like, like respond to somebody, like if Beverly Jenkins tweets something and I want to I won't stop myself now. I'll be like, yeah, I'll like respond. I can say something to her and I'll get all jittery about it, but I'll do it. Whereas 10 years ago I would be like, that person does not want to hear from me.
And the best thing about Beverly Jenkins, she responds back.
Oh my God, I cannot. She's amazing. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but sometimes.
Oh my God, there's so many questions. You met her before, right? She's hilarious.
No.
You've never met her?
I have stalked her from a distance. She was actually on a podcast. And this is what I mean by not believing in myself. I have a couple of traditionally published books, and the publicist for it, the second one, got me onto a podcast, and I went and I looked at it, and she had been on 2 weeks before they interviewed me, and I was like, I'm a real estate podcast, Beverly Jenkins. Like I was like freaking out, and I was like but that was one of those things that kind of drove it into my head of like, I can do things that I don't think I can do. Because if I had gone and looked at that and I had seen that she was on it, I would have been like, they aren't going to want to talk to me. Like I am not anywhere near there. They aren't going to want to talk to me. And I would not have even tried to get on that podcast. Oh but my publisher believed that I belonged on that podcast, and they got me.
That's what I'm trying to tell. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know what? This is bringing us to the end of my interview. And I hate that. Let me tell you why. I hate such a strong word, and I really, really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Because I have so many questions to ask you. Like, I'm so totally intrigued. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many questions to ask you. And it's, wait, what are you saying in the chat? Let me go to them real quick, and then we got one last question. We're going to let you tell us, all your social media handles and all the good stuff. Well, we can get your book, and then we have one last question to ask you before we go. Let me go to the chat real quick. Rhonda, you need to take time. Yes, take time for yourself and your family. Self-care is very important. Rhonda says, I still hear that from people who only read traditionally published. Yeah,
they're out there.
They ran down. Midnight Ace Book Bus. I can relate to that. Yes, you can, honey. Got it. You got it. Got to do your thing. And look at you now. We all love your books. Yes, we all love
So
your
weird.
books. We eagerly wait for the next one. It is amazing. Hold 1 second for me. Hold on. Aunt Bev, I have her name is Golden Angel. She's on the show right now, and she says she's absolutely love you. She never got a chance to either to meet you or speak to you, and she just got the nerve to reply to one of your tweets, and she just love you. So can you just say hello to her?
Oh my God, you did not.
Hello, is she there?
Hi.
How are you, babe?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Stop screaming. Are you? Thanks so much for the support of my books. I appreciate you.
Thank you for being so amazing. Like, I used one of your tweets in one of my presentations.
She used one of your tweets in her presentations.
The one where she said, "Just call a dick and move on."
Yeah, she loved Twitter. I hope it is one of the decent tweets, Golden. Don't you know?
I do a presentation on how to write.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Well, Auntie, I just want you to say hello to her. She's over here crying now. I got to talk about her because But we're gonna finish up the show, and I love you, and I'm gonna call you later.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right.
Oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah. Listen.
I'm sweating.
Why are you sweating? She is. I'm telling you. You said bring her back. Well, no, we go.
I was not prepared for that.
That's what we do here at the Brown Book Series, girl. That's what we do. That's how we get down. You know what I'm saying?
I need a fan. I'm literally sweating now. Okay.
No. Mrs. said she's about to. She was. She's not.
I did.
Oh, don't cry. You know what I'm saying?
She is legend. Like,
listen, I'm telling you, we for the Legends Ball last year, she was one of the honorees. Like, yeah. All right, y'all, we're gonna get ready to go. Now, Golden Angel, tell us where we can go and pick up your latest novel, all your social medias, and all that good stuff.
So, oh God,
okay.
Get
it together.
I'm all thrown off now. So I have an upcoming novel in the Masters of Marquis series. It's the 6th book after Legally Bound that we were talking about earlier. And that is coming out on October 24th, and it's called Shallow Submission. And then I have my other pen name last month released, which is Sinister Ange. Last month released a book with the Blacklight series that's called Temptation, Blacklight Temptation. And that one is in Kindle Unlimited, which my Sinister Ange pen name has a lot of books in Kindle Unlimited. My Golden Angel name has almost none. And I'm trying to think. So you can find me. My website is www.goldenangelromance.com. And I am most active on Facebook as Golden Angel and on TikTok as Golden Angel Romance, at Golden Angel Romance. I am technically on Instagram. No, I can't think now. I'm like so thrown off.
We have all in the description box below. Go to the description box below and you'll get everything.
I'm gonna be getting off of this and then just like running around for like an hour being like, I talked to Beverly Jenkins.
Hey, welcome to the Brown Book Series. This is what we do, honey. That's how we do.
Oh my God.
Now, Golden Angel, this is our last question of the interview.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
Okay, so about my whole life?
Your whole life.
I'd probably call it Mixed Up. Because as we talked about earlier, I am mixed race. I spent a lot of my life feeling mixed up and feeling like I was not where I was supposed to be. I can't, now we celebrate the nerd. People are very into the nerd. I got bullied a lot as a kid for the things that people think I'm cool for now, which is very confusing. And yeah, I spend a lot of my life kind of feeling very mixed up. And then I also like to mix it up. So like in a positive way also, I like to be a positive person. There would be a positive spin on this.
You know what? I absolutely love it. I'm telling you, you're not listening. You're where you belong now. Yeah. We love you. You found your community.
I love the book community. I honestly do. It is overwhelmingly, I mean, there's always a few bad actors, but overwhelmingly, I have found it to be one of the most supportive, uplifting communities that I've ever found in my life. And you guys are freaking amazing. Thank you very much for being here. Renata, I am looking at being at Raw next year. Yes, I'm gonna. Yeah. I even told you, I said no more events next year, but we may have to make an exception.
Yeah, come on down the street, baby. Come on
down.
I've
not heard that I can literally drive to it. It's only like 45 minutes away from me. So
see, we absolutely love it. See, Brown Book Series, please. That's from the author, Miss Golden Angel. You guys check out the website, brownbookseries.com, to find out who's coming up in October. We got everybody. We got Lexi Blake. We got Reese Ryan, Sarah C. Cooper, Delaney Diamond. We got a whole bunch of people that's coming up. So make sure you go check us out and go get everything Golden Angel. Well, not everything. She got 300 books. Brace yourself. You know?
There are some box sets.
They do have box sets too, and her covers are awesome. So, make sure you go over there and hang out. We'll see you guys next week. Hey, stay safe, and most of all, stay positive. Bye. Hold on,